His style, probably. I think his style. When I was going through a bit of McLuhan again before coming here, I exactly thought it's probably all those aphorisms and these tiny bits that you find inside of his text that get you thinking again and makes you, there's a spark that comes from them. Actually, I sort of have a real problem with a lot of theories of McLuhan, in a sense that at the moment when I have to explain them, for instance, to my students, I find out that I do not really understand what McLuhan said. So I always have a really big problem in getting across what he meant with the medium is the message. I'm actually much better at home with the medium is the massage. So yes, I think it's his style. I think it's exactly that he is so imprecise and he is being carried away with language, with the sort of ideas that he comes up with, and well, maybe he's not carried away with it, but he loves the wordplay as well, of course. And in a sense, I think that's the aspect that you have to criticize most if you're interested in McLuhan or McLuhan theory as a theory. On the other hand, it's exactly also the point where he is interesting. And that you can also work with, as long as you don't take it as a fixed theory, which is a beginning and an end, and a core which is, and a methodology which is correct, and yeah. Well, as I said, it's inspiration. I teach McLuhan or I teach media theory to art students, and I find that it's sort of easy to get them inspired by using McLuhan. Well, again, thanks to the way in which he presents his arguments, and also the way he uses visuals and collages, and the sense in which you can pick out bits of his text and you don't have to assign text of like 30, 40 pages, which is always a burden to read for art students. So I think that's, that might be an answer. Difficult one for me to answer as well, because I'm not in media studies as such. But I think you already make a very good beginning at making as good as a description as possible of how people use media, how people construct media, how media are constructed through both technology, cultural processes, political processes, economic processes, financial, artistic, and how media are in fact, almost they come together as a medium through all these different processes and are adapted and transformed through that, and then they transform again all these processes. And if you manage to really describe that, and I now think of description in the way that Bruno Latour used the word description in his book of 2 years ago, Reassembling the Social, where it's a very nice chapter where he describes how a graduate student, I think, keeps coming up to him and asking how he should proceed with his thesis, and not McLuhan, but Latour keeps saying, make the description better, or something like that. And then the student keeps asking, but when should I start with the explanation? Make the description. If you have a really good description, you don't need an explanation. So when I say make as good a description as possible, I'm thinking of those kind of descriptions which are really pretty much impossible to make, but we can at least, media studies should at least try to do that, I think. I'm tempted to say none. In the sense that there are areas which seem to be untouched, but as a different computer in its different disguises pervades culture in all of its areas, it becomes very difficult to sort of totally disconnect in that. I mean, you can imagine paint not being mediated by a computer, and we will have drawing and we will have painting with paint, actual paint on canvas in 10 and 20 and 30 years time. But even that will be kind of, even maybe in a negative way, be influenced by computer technology, or the fact that our culture is computer mediated.